Formula One has Monaco, Indy cars have Indianapolis, and sports cars have Le Mans, but stock car racing has Daytona. And usually when we head to Daytona in the sim racing world, that usually means the start of a new season. And we are here for the start of a new season with the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. And they're back on the calendar, and it's nice to have these guys back. Always put on some great racing last few seasons we've been with them. And we're going to start a new season with a brand new car. We're not using the Xfinity Series car as opposed to the Cup car. And qualifying here is underway at Daytona. But after all of that, I have a person with me in the booth. Not Connor Horn, who's been joining me usually, but I have alongside with me Reggie Ortega. And Reggie, I think we're in for a good race.
Definitely, man. I'm really excited to be here next to you, Finian. I mean, out of all places, Daytona International Speedway. So many things can go wrong here. So many things can be good at a type of track like this. I'm way to open up the season, especially since it's Speed Weeks right now in the actual NASCAR series. So, man, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure a lot of these drivers are looking forward. And speaking of a lot of drivers, there's a lot of them on the track. I think we're actually looking at over 40 drivers here on the list for tonight, trying to get into the race. And the thing is, too, we're doing a little bit of an interesting format here tonight. We're going to be doing two heats, or two, I guess, duels, as they do in real life.
Right.
And then we have a 60-lap main event for the race here tonight. But just kind of looking on track here, some of the guys that are out there qualifying. With a minute remaining left, currently it's Eric Mickey, who we know from the Scars for Our Challenge. He's up there on the front row. Always does really well in these stock cars. And this Chad Simpson, Dakota Ehrman, Cosman. I really should have gotten some of these names. I'm sure he'll be corrected. And also Thomas Bresci too in the 24. Definitely know him. Also a lot of familiar names, a lot of new names as well here for this series.
Definitely. There's a name that I am really familiar with who I'm actually excited to see, Jeremy Miller. Really good at a plate race, really good at plate tracks. I really expect him to see probably run up front. A lot of these other guys as well that I'm really familiar with, Matt White, Connor Horn, Eric Mickey, Brandon Key. So it's really cool to be a part of this and see how these guys finish, and a lot of new names I've never seen before. Looks like the track times right now are really close. Very interesting, especially for how many cars are on the field.
Indeed, as qualifying is just going to end now, we're going to begin heat number 1. And looking at the list, we got 21 drivers on the list for that.
Yeah, and it looks like the heats are decided of who's going to start on the inside and who's going to start on the outside. Looks like heat 1 will be who will be starting on the inside, heat 2 on the outside. So this is going to be very interesting. I've never seen something like this, especially at a track like this. Very big, 2.5 miler here we're talking, Finian.
Yeah, indeed, and we're already starting to line up the guys in pit road, and we'll take this chance too to run down your grid order for heat number 1. Going to be starting on pole for the first heat. It's going to be Eric Mickey in first. Next to him, Chad Simpson, the 46, will be lining up in second.
Yeah, then we got Connor Horn in third. Very familiar face right there. And Dakota Ehrman in fourth on the outside there.
Oh, actually, I just realized... Yeah, this is incorrect. Okay. The grid that we're looking at, that's everyone, I think. And even the way what we use to grab the information is taking everyone, not just who's in the heat.
Oh man, this is going to be definitely confusing for sure.
Yeah, but from the looks of it, we got Eric, Mickey, Connor Horn, Cosman in the 84. I'm going to definitely need to learn how to pronounce his last name at some point. Norm Pelletier, nice to see him back on the grid. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. And John Poole are going to be lining up for your top 5. I think we're waiting on Connor Horn. There he is. And a few more others in the back of the grid. So, with this being a heat race, obviously no points on the line for most of these drivers. So, if you're a guy starting in the back, are you going to try to be aggressive in this race, Reggie, or would you kind of take a more laid-back approach?
You know what? In the beginning of the race, I definitely want to stay back just to see how things turn out. I mean, this is 20 laps we're talking here. A lot of things can go wrong with 20 laps. I think the drivers are definitely going to be aggressive. But, I mean, this is 20 laps we're talking here. Like I said, a lot of things can go wrong. Definitely want to start in the back just to see how things shake up, and then definitely work your way up to the field.
Indeed, and pace car is going to start to roll on the track as we're just about to get the season underway. At least they're, instead of speed weeks, like a speed night for these guys.
Right, definitely is.
Yeah, so just kind of looking through the grid, some of the names we got here. Nick Johnson's here from the Fuel IndyCar Series. Seen him, we've got Razor on the car on that 28 Toyota Supra. Also, Gary Weaver in the 41 as well to note. Mitch Welker in the 76. AC Lakanis, who you're familiar with, Reggie, from the Outside Racing League. He's going to be lining up in 19th in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see these guys, see how they do and all that. Brian Chambliss as well in the 25 car. Man, this is going to be a really exciting race. There's a lot of drivers in here that I can see that are good at plate tracks, so definitely going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and one driver in particular, too, that I'm really excited to see on the grid is the 30 of Robert Hall. And obviously, Reggie, I don't think you probably know who he is. He showed up pretty much in the middle of last season and just started kind of dominating. So he wasn't able to qualify for the finals, although definitely the way he ran, he was definitely able to. Wasn't able to run the full schedule, but here he is for this season with a full schedule, and I'm really curious to see what he's got in that 30 machine as everyone's getting ready to line up at a turn 4. The pace car is going to turn off. We're going to begin heat number 1.
Yeah, here we go.
Pace car is going to make the turn onto pit road. Let these 21 cars amongst themselves that they're going to carry pace speed down towards the start-finish line, and the green flag is out for heat number 1.
All right, well, it doesn't look like... Oh, looks like we got a guy here in the middle. Just shoved himself down to the bottom really early there.
Already guys starting to try to find their lanes and sort each other out. It's currently the 86 of Eric Mickey that's moving out to the front, as well as Cosman in the 84 lining up in behind them. Everyone just kind of playing their games, doing themselves, trying to get themselves in line.
Oh man, we got one shoving it in the middle here. Forced it 3 wide, the 28 car. Shooting up through the pack right here. Look at this. Right behind the 56 car. I heard that pushing is going to be pretty questionable, especially for the setup right now.
Oh, there you got Brian Chambliss. He's coming onto pit road. Not sure if he has a problem or if he got a penalty potentially for changing lanes or something, but 25 cars down on pit road already, so that's not going to be good for his race so far. But it looks like most of these guys are starting to get single filed out. Really, one of the only outliers is Norm Pelletier in the 56.
Starting to file on the bottom line. I'm not sure maybe they feel in the car. The outside lane doesn't look like it's getting any movement. Pretty much just the bottom right now.
Yeah, riding on board currently with Gary Weaver in the 41, kind of stuck in midfield, running around 10th right now. He's got Hayden Pistorius to his outside in the 19.
84 up front, pushing really, really early right now. That could be bad, especially at a track like this. One small little tap can definitely get a car sideways way up there in the front of the pack and cause a big wreck.
Yeah, indeed it can, and we were talking with some of the drivers earlier before we went live, and some of them are saying the conditions here are a little bit sketchy, especially when you go up to try to shove someone and just kind of moving around a lot. Speaking of movement, already a lot of it midfield, as Connor Horn makes a dart out to the right to go to the outside. He's going to lead that outside charge. We're going to be 3 wide with Pelletier. He's going to lead his own lane.
3 wide at Daytona. I mean, it seems like a really big track, especially when you're out there, but when you're 3 wide, it definitely does feel really narrow.
In there really quickly depending on how you drive it, but currently second line forming up really strong. Connor Horn leading that charge, and we're back to double file immediately. Didn't take long for that.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are definitely anxious to get up front. That second lane is forming. If they can get enough cars, they could push themselves even a little bit further and get that line moving really fast.
And already you can tell also some guys in the back just trying to play it out safe. Amongst them, Christopher Matthews, Steve Herring, Dakota DiCienzo, who we know from the Indy Elite Series. He's also here. He's just kind of hanging out in towards the back, kind of letting the storm in the front unfold as Connor Horn's trying to wrestle away the lead from Eric Mickey on the outside.
Yeah, and that Connor Horn in that 67 car. He is going to show some speed from what I've seen in the past. He is fast. I'm surprised he hasn't really pushed away here, especially with the 42 pushing him like that. They've been pretty much bumper to bumper up there. It's pretty sketch.
And so far, most of you guys have been just kind of playing a nice riding in here, and I can imagine this is going to get a lot more chaotic once we get closer to 5 laps to go. I think guys are just trying to move up as little as they can because you don't want to wreck your car out early. You're going to be completely out of this.
Right. Like I said before, a small tap can definitely ruin your race here. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the car it is, the left side, the right side. One small little bump can definitely get your car lifted up a little bit and loose. Look at these guys right here in the middle go 3 wide.
You're riding with Mitch Welker there. He's in the middle of that 3 wide scenario. He's got Norm Pelletier in front of him. He's also got the 0-0 Don Runkle Jr. up the middle. Ooh, it's getting really chaotic as Runkle goes up to Norm Pelletier. They almost door each other in the middle of the turn. That's something.
You're right. Yeah, the 5, the 28, and the 56 right now, 3 wide. I'm not sure if that's something you really want to do, especially early in the race right now.
Yeah, well, some of these guys are still keeping their foots in it, and they're trying to make it work as much as they can. This is also a good chance to really test the waters, especially with all the drivers that are out here. This is really the first time these guys have all been in a pack together with these cars, and especially some of the newer drivers in the field. So this is a learning experience before the main race coming up shortly.
Right.
With Don Runkle looking in that white car in the middle of the pack, he's really looking loose in the middle of the trioval.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know what it's like up there, especially what they said, how the car felt. They said it felt really loose, even in the straightaways. So, really curious to see how it shakes up there.
And Don Runkle now making a move to the outside lane, and that outside lane that was starting to. Brought Connor Horn to the front. They kind of remain stable. Not a whole lot's happening with them, and it looks like Runkle is also going to slowly drift on towards the back.
Yeah, that 0-0 there. Looks like he just got shuffled outside all by himself, but the 2 car looks like he's going to come up and pick it up.
So far, pretty clean and green as we're 7 laps into this heat. Guys playing very nicely with each other. Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, around 5 laps ago is when it gets chaotic. Reggie, when do you think it's going to start to go down south? Though it might go down now as Connor Horn's trying to defend the outside lane.
Yeah, Connor Horn is very competitive from what I've known from him. Oh, he goes down to the bottom. Yeah, like I said, Connor Horn in the 67, he's definitely a very competitive person. I'm not really a shocker that he's up there right now leading the pack.
He definitely wants to start on pole for this event. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do so.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks where track position really kind of doesn't matter, you know, because you could start in the back of the pack and work your way up through the field.
You definitely can, as we're looking here at some of these other guys just kind of remaining calm for now. It looks like that 3 wide's kind of dying out for now. I think maybe guys are a little bit satisfied for racing here, saving up their stuff for the last run.
Right, definitely 5 laps to go is pretty much is what I like to call time, Vinny. And definitely when you want to start pushing on that bumper to get up there, be aggressive.
Yeah, and Reggie, you know, asking you as a driver that currently racing the outside Cup, in fact, you're going to be at Daytona within a few days. Are you one of the more aggressive drivers, or you just kind of like to lay yourself out in the back until it's time to go?
You know, the best advice that I could give, especially for a track like this, is patience. You know, patience is definitely, it doesn't matter where you are on the track or how many laps you have left. You definitely want to be patient. Wait for that last moment and then be aggressive. And what I mean by that last moment, I mean like the final laps of the race. Literally like at least maybe about 2 or 3 laps left of the race. That's when you want to be real aggressive. Oh, the 19 shoving right there, giving a door slam to the 84, looks like.
Yeah, speaking of being aggressive, it looks like these guys are starting to go at it now for a little bit. I think Scory's trying to get the 42 up to the front of Taylor.
Right, I mean, we got about 10 laps to go. Oh, we got one on the wall, 2 car.
Oh, Calvin Filarski, he's in the wall and starting to lose speed and the pack. Take a look and see what happened there. on board with the two of Calvin Filarski. Here was to the outside. Don Michael Jr. just caught the safer barrier, and it was enough to slow him down.
It costs you so much, especially at much be right behind somebody to keep yourself with someone up there, or in the pack, I should say. Falling that far back, yeah, I mean, the only thing he can hope for right now is a caution.
And it looks like we're less and less likely to get that caution to really help him out. These guys have been playing very patient with each other, but again, that can quickly go away if these guys choose so, and they can stop playing nice and start to go completely at it, and we can end up like the Busch Clash.
Right, I wouldn't count out the caution yet. I mean, this Daytona we're talking about, like I said, smallest mistake could definitely ruin someone's race. If not, it could ruin half the pack.
And again, that's all it really takes in these big packs is just one small mistake by someone towards the front, and everyone can end up with a wrecked race car. But so far, so good as we get the 8 laps to go now.
Yeah, that 19 car is looking anxious to get around the 42. Just can't quite get it though. He needs to get that run.
And we'll see here. I don't know if he's necessarily friends with the 28 and Nick Johnson in the back, but curious if maybe they'll try to mount a charge to the outside of the 42, just push himself up to the front here. I think a lot of guys are definitely saving and hiding their stuff here. I also see Mitch Welker, he's slowly moved up to the front and started more towards the back of this field, if I'm not mistaken. Started 18th, turning up to 9th. Oh, there's a wreck off
we got a wreck!
Car spinning. The 42 around in the middle of the track. Caution going to be out.
Big one right here.
Yeah, we're talking about it. One small mistake is all it takes, and there's a bunch of wrecked race cars. Don Runkle rolling through the grass.
Oh, man. A lot of wrecked race cars right here.
Yeah, indeed, that's all it takes. They're a little bit loose coming off the turn 4. The 42 made contact with the 86, and there is nowhere for a lot of these drivers to go. Right on board with Hate Pistorius. Get a better view of this incident. Hate Pistorius sitting in 4th. You can see some of these guys start to ball a little bit, and the 42 just got into him, and here's also what happened to Don Runkle as well. He took a wild ride, got into the fence, got pushed up at 56, and I think just rolled down the banking. And because cautions are longer, we're going to take also the time. We'll take a right on over the gyro cam. It's flying up. This will be a fun replay. Forward. And sideways down the banking. And here come the barrels. Oh god, that is nauseating. Yeah, especially too in the tri-oval, because you don't really think the tri-oval's banked a whole lot, but it and even when you're driving it too, you don't notice it. Oh, and also looking off the back of Connor Horn's car, we're going to look on the nose at this Hayden Pistorius in second. Connor Horn up ahead in the 67. He's got right rear damage to his car. I don't think that should necessarily affect him on speed. What I am curious though is, again, these guys were complaining a little bit of the handling of this car. And I can't imagine that damage is going to do him any favors.
Yeah, the back end, not so much. It's really all in the front. That's all the arrow was where it's going through right there. The back end, the only thing that I would be worried about as far as back end damage is when you're getting pushed.
Yeah. So,
that small little edge, can definitely turn somebody again, cause another big wreck.
Yeah, just kind of looking through the rest of the field, it looks like from that incident we've lost Well, 4 cars done. Welkel has actually got back out on the track. It seems he's got a brand new car. Not sure if fast repairs have turned on, but he's back out on the track.
I was just gonna ask the same thing because his car was pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm guessing he got lucky there, so gonna get back out into the track and join everyone else. Same thing with the 71, so I think fast repairs are turned on. Not necessarily sure if guys are supposed to use it. They might be able to use it in the heat race, so not entirely sure of that situation, but luckily for them, they can get back in this race.
Might have been an option that was thrown out for the heat races. I mean, 20 laps, like I said, so many things can go wrong. I mean, look at how many laps we have left right now. We might see another wreck.
Yeah, we definitely can here. Too, I would imagine for these. Actually, no. Yeah, I don't think you can even turn on green white checkers in a heat. Can you? I don't think you can.
That I'm not sure. Like, I've never seen this type of racing, especially at Daytona. So this is all very new to me as well.
Yeah, I would imagine that they probably didn't turn green white checkers on because it's only the heat race. So I'm gonna assume that we're gonna potentially get our final restart here. We'll have to see. And kind of just looking at your order there on the left side of the screen, it's Connor Horn, Hayden Pistorius, Nick Johnson, Mitch Welker, John Poole, your 10-5. And you got Colin Fambro, too, a name I haven't mentioned in a while. Gary Weaver, Casey Lacanis, Dakota DiCienzo, and Christopher Matthews rounding up the top 10.
Yeah, Casey Cottos definitely has a car. It looks like he can win. I mean, he started 19th, and he's up to 8th right now. Very clean car he has. I would definitely watch out for that guy.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on him too. This is where a lot of guys, especially with that wreck, taking out a few guys, putting them in the back of the field, they can get a chance to move up to the front here. And do you think we're going to get another caution? Or do you think we're going to finish this under green?
Oh man, that's really tough to say, especially the Daytona, what it can promote, you know. So, oh man, I think we're definitely gonna have another wreck.
That's so you're putting all your money on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if that is going to be true here as we're double filing up back for the restart here. Looks like we're going to get the restart with 3 laps to go.
So no green white checker finish here. Bless you.
Thank you. I muted my mic so people wouldn't hear it on the screen.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah, Connor Horn lining up in first. I'm curious if someone's going to be able to wrestle away the lead because he's done a phenomenal job of holding the lead of this race. Granted, he has been extremely aggressive doing so, but it's paid off for him so far.
Yeah, Connor Horn in the 76. Like I said, he's very competitive. It's going to be really surprising to me if somebody can get around him. The only way that I think anybody can get around that car is if somebody's pushing somebody on the outside, because the bottom lane is preferred here at Daytona.
Yeah, it definitely is, but looking at that outside lane, we got Hayden Pistorius and Mitch Welker, and if Welker is willing to be aggressive enough in his 76 car, you could see him potentially push the 19 to try to win the heat. And, you know, you might ask, what's in it for Welker? Well, Welker could try to get a few more spots by pushing the 19 here, but we'll have to see how these guys decide to divvy it up and work together. We're going to get down to it here. The pace car is going to come off in turn 4 yet again, which should be the final time of this heat. And we're going to have a 3-lap shootout here with about, just about 19 cars rolling on the track, 18 of them on the lead lap. Pace car going to be in. Here we go for the restart. Green flag back in the air.
Got him shuffling in the middle there.
Yeah, poor start for what looks to be. That was a 43 car. Dakota DiCienzo, he had a poor start. He's starting to drop to the back, as well as the 5 Colin Fambro. He's holding up some guys. Whoa, that's Christopher Matthews has almost gotten into the outside wall. Big check up midfield. Some guys with damaged cars not able to keep up with the pace.
Yeah, that 5 car definitely had a lot of rear end damage. That's why he's falling back right now.
Yeah, and here we go for the front, for the lead. Nick Johnson going to work to the outside of Connor Horn to try to wrestle it away. Hayden Pistorius is going to be the one that's going to be pushing that razor machine to the front. Whoa!
Oh, what at the apron?
Yeah, the 11 of John Poole just got the apron there. The HP machine got a little bit loose, but kept it in. Oh, man. A lot of moving and a lot
Oh
of
man, a
shuffling.
lot of
2 laps
movement
to
going
go.
on in the middle there. Yeah, 3 wide. Oh, a big
Oh,
wreck.
there we go. And there's a big wreck midfield. Many cars involved. Norm Pelletier going flying up in the air. And we got
Surprised he
another
didn't catch
caution.
the catfish there. Another caution. Like I said, man, I told you it was coming.
That car is definitely going to be done for this race at least. Take a look what happened back here. I kind of felt like something's going to happen around the 56 car. There's a lot of movement around the midfield. And ooh, it looks like a tap off the 41. And the 43, that sent everyone else into a big wreck. You see the 56 just catch some air. Here's the 41 there. You see the 43, just a little bit of a tap as they're across the start finish line is enough to upset the car. And around they went. Go back up to the front. Well, white flag's in the air, so the race is going to end here as these guys make it back to the stripe. And it looks like for who's going to be starting on pole, going to be Nick Johnson, who can make it back to the line.
Yeah.
And he was just able to mount enough of a charge with the 1980 Pistorius. Those guys were on the outside lane. Did muscle around Connor Horn.
Yeah, if you get the good push, you could definitely get your way up there. Nobody was probably pushing Connor Horn there in the 67 car.
That's where the 19 and the 20 were able to take advantage of. They're going to be lining up first and third on your starting lineup for the Daytona opener here.
Not sure if you saw that right now, but the 67 Connor Horn looked like he was upset with the 50 car.
Interesting.
During these pacing laps here.
Not to see here, but checker flag going to be out and away. And Nick Johnson will win heat number 1. And well, that was an interesting start to this evening, and you know, you don't have to go anywhere because immediately we're going to start griding for heat
Again,
number 2.
right?
Yep, we're going to start it all over again. Another 20 laps on the board here as we're waiting for the last few guys to cross the line.
So heat number 2 will pretty much line up everybody on the outside.
Yeah, I believe we should have about 20 cars in that race. 21. Still waiting for the session to tick over. Oh, we're waiting on some guys is taking the road
There
choice
is some
here.
guy still on the track there.
Oh, since the session has ticked over, we'll bring up your results here. And I'm gonna wait for it to scroll another page or two. Up and never mind, not even gonna get the chance to do that because we've ticked over. So
There we go. Yep.
finally ticking over to the next session, we're gonna line up another 21 cars here on the grid. And getting ready to do it all over again. It's going to be Chad Simpson this time in a beautiful Spark VR car. We know Chad Simpson from the Indy Elite Series, the Coca-Cola Indy Elite Series. Has done a fantastic job there. Very competitive car. He's going to put that car on pole for this heat at least. And we'll see if he'll be able to keep it there.
And how about the 24 of Thomas Brissy? I mean, very good driver there from what I saw. I've been able to watch some of the streams, so looking forward to seeing the 24. Definitely Matt White as well. Jeremy Miller in the 23 starting 5th. I'm really anxious to see how he runs, especially how good he is at plate tracks.
Yeah, he actually did pretty well in your guys' season, last season at the beginning part. In the first half, he did pretty well. Fell off towards the later bit. But I think he's going to be a man that's reinvigorated for both championships up and coming. Definitely shown he has the pace to compete well.
Right, and then we got Brandon Keegan, the 95 back there, starting 18th. Another driver that I'm very familiar with as well.
95 paint scheme. Also, to his inside, Kevin Bartol, a beautiful Caterpillar paint scheme.
was just looking at that right now. There's definitely some nice paint schemes out here.
They're definitely taking their time in the paint shop. Doing some beautiful. Ooh, someone's got a Coca-Cola livery. Trying to see if we can get up to that.
I like that
Or
16 car right there as well. Jared Dixon. Very cool Menards paint scheme.
let's see.
Definitely with that old Greg Biffle number 16 font. That is awesome.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, Jared Dixon lining up there. Beautiful Menards paint scheme, like you were saying.
That one definitely wins the paint scheme award right there. That is really cool. I like that paint scheme.
Yeah, we're going to see a bunch of these beautiful paint schemes take the grid here as we get ready for heat number 2. Another 21 drivers will line up here. We'll see if it's going to be as chaotic as we saw at the end of heat number 1. Do you think we'll end under caution? Or do you think we'll be under green?
A lot of good drivers in here, so I think it's going to go under green.
Well, we'll find out in 20 laps time as the green flag's out here for heat number 2.
24, they're giving the bumper to the leader really early.
He's already getting on in behind the 46, and it's a little bit concerning because, again, these cars are a little bit squirrely as you've been seeing some of these guys dealing with these conditions in the last race.
It is a little bit concerning because of what they said, how the car felt. They're managing to keep it together, though.
We'll see how long the 24 is going to stay tucked up in behind, but looking to the outside lane now, he's at 29 of Matt White giving a push to Dakota Ehrman in the 78 run on the outside lane. He's also got Liam Sheen in the 96, and Sheen, a very aggressive plate driver, but he's definitely been able to get the job done in the past.
Yeah, I've seen Liam Sheen, as a matter of fact. I've seen him race before, definitely very aggressive, but I wouldn't count him out.
No, definitely wouldn't count on him. Anything, it'll help him. You have to be aggressive with these plate tracks to get the moves done. And we definitely know Sheen is capable of doing that. He's riding on the outside. He's going to take a look now. Maybe make a third lane? Nope, he's going to back out.
No,
he's going to swerve down the inside.
Outside there. The nose off the 93.
Yeah, I was trying to bully Travis McQuistion in the 93 out of that spot. McQuistion says, nope, get your butt back to the high lane and stay there.
He just shoved him right back outside.
Oh, and here comes Jeremy Miller in the 23. He's going to move himself to the high lane and try to lead a charge on that outside line.
It's getting pretty questionable up front there. That second lane is definitely formed up good enough pack to keep themselves up there. Look at that, the 23 looked like he was going to take the lead from the 46.
These guys are being a lot more aggressive on the start than we saw the last group of drivers. It looks like a lot of these guys up here towards the front, all of them want to get up to the lead and lead a lap.
Like I said, Jeremy Miller, the 23 car, it's definitely one you want to watch out for. Very good at plate tracks. The 24!
He's on the apron, but is able to save it. Wow, fantastic job there, and everyone's going to make
good
it
save. Yeah, he was... Both left side tires were on the yellow line, pretty much below it.
I'll go quickly to take a look back at what happened there. Because that could have ended a lot of people's race right then and there. Alright, I'll go with the 24 here. He just caught that sideways, and he did get a little bit of damage to the rear of his car, but was able to keep it going straight. I think that's the important thing. Has lost some track position as we're going to go here 3 wide in the middle of the pack. It's going to be Zach Buchanan to the outside, the 56 in the middle. Sorry, there's a 65 in the middle. That is Blake Travick in that cow-colored car.
Yeah, it says 56 on my view, but it is the 65. Can't miss that car.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna recognize it by the paint scheme more than anything else. I think for tonight, I'm gonna giant camel on that as well.
Let's see if he can move his way up there.
Hey, there you go. I like it, yeah, but currently sitting in the middle of the pack, and it looks like these guys have calmed down just a little bit. Liam Sheen up into second place on the inside line, still a 78 of Ehrman out in front on the outside line.
Yeah, that bottom lane has definitely been checking up here and there. just a little bit ago as well. Big checkup.
Also, whoa, hello, I was just riding on board with the 33 of Philip Radojcic. Haven't seen him around in quite a while. Another returning driver to the Fuel Premier Series. He's done pretty well in the past. Nice to see him back on the track with everyone else.
Yeah, a lot of new names out here. Definitely have not seen a lot of these guys race. Not very much going on in the back of the pack, but it's definitely good to be back there, especially early on in the race right now.
Yeah, especially when a lot of things can happen in the race. Whoa, some guys are already getting a little bit loose in 3. Everyone's kind of being careful, feeling the car out in behind all the dirty air and turbulent air of the draft. A lot of guys moving up high.
A lot of guys swerving here and there, exactly, yeah. Could be the setup.
Could be. Whoa, I see a move to the middle. Jared Dixon in that 16, he's a little bit loose. He's going to keep it straight. Wow.
Wow.
He almost
great save.
You talk about being aggressive here. And he tries to make a move. Looks like he's going to have to back out of it. Just doesn't have the runner support. Ooh,
Yeah,
Zach Buchanan. Whoa, he was trying to make a move to the outside lane and got a little bit loose up there, almost turned back down in the field, and he's gonna, I think, potentially have to drop to the back of the pack. I don't think anyone's gonna be willing to work with him on this stage.
The track
isn't hot
right now either.
Oh, they're
wrecking!
They're wrecking in the tri-oval. Caution out. And many cars involved in that. The 58 Riley Thompson.
A lot of cars involved. I think we got a caution sooner here on Heat 2 than we did in Heat 1.
Yeah, I think so. Take a look as to what exactly caused that. We saw definitely the 40 was in the epicenter of that. We ran into some trouble with the 95 years and on board with Zach Buchanan. He just got into contact with the 95 into the wall. He went. Everyone else went spinning around. But with the 95 car, Brandon King, he went for a pretty wild ride. Also, take a look on board from Tyler Duggar's view of this, because he was all the way in the back, just kind of riding around minding his own business. His view of the ride. He got tagged and went around for a spin. That was a pretty sizable wreck that took on quite a few drivers.
Pretty much half the pack right there.
Yeah. Pace car gonna work back around to the pits. Can't imagine really anyone's gonna bother coming down for tires or fuel. Don't really need it. It's a 20 lap sprint.
Yeah, 20 laps. You definitely don't want to go down pit road.
Well, we could see some guys that may want to drop to the back. I'll be surprised, but the option's already there. Although I imagine majority of the guys are gonna be coming down to fix their cars from damage. The 39
yeah, the car
drivers down.
Yeah, the car does feel loose, is what I'm getting. So could go down pit road and get those left side tires and definitely tighten up the car a little bit.
Yeah, that's the problem. Too, is that these guys is a fixed setup series, so you can't do anything to really adjust. You can't, adjust the tire pressures to your will. You pretty much only just take tires, and that's definitely a way to do it. So you're saying to take left side tires or right side tires to tighten up?
Left sides. That way you'll have the grip on the left side, and pretty much, it'll add grip to the rear there. The tires will definitely feel loose on the right side, but doing it on the left, oh yeah, it'll tighten it up a little bit. It'll probably feel tight in the corner, but oh yeah, definitely probably a lot better than what it is right now.
If anyone does decide to do it, at least with the guys that pit, I'm sure most of them just wanted to get their car fixed and get back out on the track. And looking at it, everyone pretty much has their cars fixed. Only driver that seems is a lap down is Casey Shue in the 4. I think his car, he had to get a tow back to the pit, so that's why he's 2 laps down.
Yeah, his car is pretty wrecked. Missing a front end pretty much.
Yeah, he's missing a front end, he's missing a back end.
Back end as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that right now. Looks like these guys did have a fast repair because a lot of cars had a lot more damage than what we see right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point. I imagine they're probably not going to be allowed to use that in the race. I imagine they could see a pretty hefty penalty if they do take a...
Right, might have been a heat thing only, that's right.
Yeah. We'll see how that is enforced. As they're going to get back to the line here, there should be one to go. Indeed it is. We're going to double file these guys up yet again. And get ready for a restart here. We're going to be coming to 9 laps to go.
Got some guys back there in the 24 warming up their tires. Not sure if that's a thing you want to do, especially for how the setup feels.
Yeah, well, we'll see how, which strategy, I guess, for that prevails. The guys that want to just kind of keep their tires cold as possible to prevent their car from getting loose. But out of these guys, who are you liking so far? I'll take probably Jeremy Miller from you because he's in the lead. Of the rest of these guys, who are you feeling has a shot at winning the seat?
Ooh, man. Liam Sheen in the 96. Very aggressive driver. Behind the leader right now in the 23. If he could push him to get a far enough lead, he could make a move to the outside and get around him.
Yeah, definitely see he's only got a little bit to go. He's got the 23 right in front of him. One guy I'm kind of looking at that I think I might like is Dakota Ehrman, sitting outside in second, starting in second and is running in second. He's got the 29 in behind him. If they can mount up a charge, I think they might be able to wrestle away the lead from the 23 of Jeremy Miller. But Miller looking to be pretty strong in defending, pretty much similar to the way Connor Horn was driving in race number 1. We'll see if it'll work out for the 23 here.
Yeah, if they can get a lane working on the outside, it could prevail.
And Pacecar is going to make the left turn off onto pit road. Field in the hands of the 23 of Jeremy Miller, waiting for that green flag. And we're back green here at Daytona, 9 laps to go.
Very good restart for a lot of these guys. Jeremy Miller definitely got a big jump.
Yeah, but he's got no one to really help him out immediately. Liam Sheen's now come there, but the 29 to 70 and getting hooked up on that outside lane. They're ready to go.
They're pinching pretty good right there on that middle lane.
That's where a lot of stuff could go wrong, and we're having a look here. The 19 thinking about going to the outside lane to build up a run.
The 29 car. Got to be careful there. One small mistake could definitely get this whole pack shaken up.
Indeed it can. Looking at some movement here.
19, like you said, looks like he's trying to go around the outside and make it 3 wide.
Actually, the 19 is, I believe, the 33 on timing and scoring. I was trying to figure out who that is because I wasn't seeing a 19 on the list of drivers in this race. So that is Filip Radojcic.
That is the 33. Yep.
He's been kind of waiting up patiently, and his patience has gone away as he makes a move to the outside now of the 29, 3 wide.
That 65 car mooing his way up there.
Yeah, he definitely is, although they're starting to lose some traction here. I think Radojcic is going to bail on this. Nope, he's going to continue, as he's got the 56 to work with here as they come around 7 laps to go.
Yeah, looks like those guys are really anxious to get up front. That 29 car blocking pretty much. That could be bad.
And behind Tyler Hensey, he's trying to be aggressive, move to the outside of the 65 of Blake Trawick, but not giving him the lane. A lot of these guys also being, I'm surprised too, being pretty aggressive on their blocks, considering how sketchy the conditions are. Here comes Radojcic again to the outside of the 29.
If they can make it work, the outside lane there, in my opinion, is the best lane.
Well, they're definitely going to try to make it work here. They got a good run off the corner. They're definitely a lot more present alongside the 29, and I think now they can start to mount up a charge. Here we go. The race is on.
And 3 wide right here. About to go 3 wide, 2 rows.
There you see, whoa, Liam Sheen on the inside getting a little bit sideways. He's got his car sorted out. But Radojic is starting to die out yet again. They've just not been able to keep a lot of momentum. I think they just need one more car, but looking up the middle, you can see that the 29 is giving a boost to the 78. Ehrman's going to barely lead the race off into turn 3.
Yeah, if you get enough big of a push, you can get ahead. If that 29 car could get that 44 right behind his bumper, that middle lane can work.
Going to come back to the stripe, and it's going to be Miller. But really, all the 29 has to do is just push the 78 past the stripe, and they'll take the win of it. Whoa, big bottle for Tyler Hensley in the middle.
Looking at this 3 wide.
Oh, some contact, door-to-door contact between the 44 and the 65. No harm, no foul, it seems.
Looks like he's backing off. Probably doesn't like it up there no more.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't blame him. I think he's feeling like it's getting a little hostile, and it looks like Radojic and him have kind of backed down here. I think they're just going to kind of ride it out for a few laps, maybe mount up another charge when the time is right. But still up front is Jeremy Miller taking a stranglehold on this field. I'm just curious when that 96 of Liam Sheen's going to try to pass him.
Yeah, like I said, if he could get to his bumper, get a big enough, gap, he could shove something. Oh, we got a wreck.
Oh, yeah, we got a wreck off into turn 1. Caution going to be out. It's going to be race over with this wreck as it's the big one. Wow. Zach Buchanan up and over on his roof.
Still on his roof right now.
And, oh man, what on earth happened? I went off to just look off the rear of Jeremy Miller. So taking a look here, looks like, yeah, the 29s, I'm not sure if he just got loose going off into the corner. Looking off the nose of Tyler Hensley on the replay. Yeah, he just got loose by himself. Hensley's nowhere near him. There's a massive pile. I'm trying to catch from a few different angles because what a crash. Another look at, yeah, another wreck. Man, there's some violent hits. Yeah, I don't know if it's the fact that I haven't, seen this car, but I feel like these guys have been flipping over pretty easily in comparison to the Cup cars. Well, I mean, I guess he's going to wait and finish out that way. It's not like it really much can hurt him at this point. But this race is definitely going to end under caution here. It's going to be Jeremy Miller that's going to be leading everyone back around twice. He's going to collect 2 laps to go now. But solid job for Jeremy Miller. He really did a great job up in the lead, defending it from everyone.
Yeah, no surprise there. Jeremy Miller being such a great plate racer. One place where he likes to be is definitely up front. And look what it did for him. Definitely prevailed for him.
Just kind of scrolling through to see really how this field's sorted out. Liam Sheen's going to end up finishing in second. This race is pretty much where he was running. Chad Simpson's going to gain quite a few spots, as well as John Wilco. Thomas Bressie, he's missing his entire back end, but he's going to come across the line in 5th.
Yeah, what a finish for John Wilco in the 62. Starting 21st, pretty much the back end of the field, all the way up to 4th. What a great finish for the 62 of John Wilco.
Yeah, trying to just kind of scrolling through to see what we got here too. Tyler Delger right in behind him, 16th to 6th for the 88 car. This is some of the bigger movers. Brandon Key also from 18th to 9th.
Will Roberts as well in the 39, 20th to 10th.
Yeah, well, that car has definitely seen some better days. What about the backup car for the upcoming race? Curtis Yancey in the 73. He started in 19th. He's all the way up into 11th, so good run for him. I think more or less that's where those are a lot of the big
Big names.
yeah, big names as far as them coming up through the order. Okay, so we're gonna come around. We're gonna collect the white flag this time. Jerry Miller fake pitting. Unless
Good
he's
win for
gonna
Jeremy Miller.
unless he's gonna do a Mark Martin pit one lap before the race ends.
You would hate to see that, but it doesn't surprise me. I've seen it before.
There's crazy things that have happened, but looks like Miller's going to definitely stay out there unless something happens to him internet-wise. That I have seen, especially with Joshua Banks too. He's had some run look with his internet.
Yeah. Bailey Turner as well. Man, I think he was leading at one point.
Yeah,
Just vanished.
yeah. I noticed his internet has been worse lately than it used to be. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, living out of California, they do have they do shut off the power in the city where he lives at because
Oh,
of the windmills out there.
oh, interesting.
So unfortunately, they just shut the power off when he was racing.
Oh, that's brutal. That really sucks.
Not sure, not sure we got to be mad at there, the city or you know the fact that you live in California.
Small dig at Californians.
Gotta live where I live, Arizona.
Oh, I didn't know you lived in Arizona.
Oh yeah, don't get really much here other than monsoons, but when it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I'll be able to live in it. It's so hot, too hot for me. I kind of like being in New York, although I'll say sometimes it gets a little bit too cold.
Yeah, I've always wanted to know what it's like to live in the cold, but I think I'd rather stick with the heat only because it's so much, in my opinion, it's so much easier to cool down than it is to warm up.
Well, I think some drivers their tempers might be a little bit hot. We'll see how that plays out in the feature race as heat number 2 is going to go to Jeremy Miller in the 23, Liam Sheed's going to collect second, Chad Simpson in third, John Welko in fourth, and Thomas Bresson rounding out your top 5.
What a great win there for Jeremy Miller, especially bringing that type of momentum in the main race.
Then I will immediately switch over to the main event for tonight. Find where that was, and looks like I think we got a 5-minute warm up here, if I'm not mistaken.
Get them all bunched up together, yeah. Might see some guys back on the track here. Get themselves ready. Definitely going to be a big field. I mean, we got 42 cars.
Yeah, a lot of drivers here tonight for the season opener. Season opener, as per usual, you definitely expect a lot of cars to always be at the first race of the season, and especially this
Right.
series too. These guys have had some fantastic fuel numbers. They dwindle off, I think, once the chase start, but before then they were consistently getting in 40 cars, and at one point they had to start shooing people away because so many guys were joining in. And have a really strong field, so really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out. But
That's
first,
really cool.
yeah, but first we got to have it start here at Daytona, 60 laps, and all things considered, that's a really short race.
60 laps, yes. It's nothing really to worry about strategic wise, but you definitely still got to pit. So there is going to be some strategy play.
So it looks like there's nothing going on the track. So we'll take this moment to go to commercial and rest for a little bit before we start out the main event. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right.
Alright, after a short little delay, we're back live at Daytona. There was some technical difficulties, so the fast repairs we noticed in the duels, that was not supposed to be a thing. And so, a new server was put up to fix that issue, and well, everything is set to go, and we're ready here to go for 60 laps here at Daytona for your season opener. My name is Finny Nakuna, and I'm here with Reggie Ortega, and we're getting ready for now the main event for tonight.
Yeah, 60 laps, man. It's not really a lot of laps if you think about it, especially at a track like this, Daytona International Speedway, big 2.5 miler. 60 laps, Finian. Do you think it's enough, or do you think it's a lot?
I think it's just the right amount, honestly, for these guys, especially with the way the racing has gone. Your starting lineup's going to be scrolling across the bottom with Nick Johnson and Jeremy Miller leading the field down, your race winners from both heats. But yeah, you know, looking forward to seeing how this race is going to go out. I think especially, I feel like recently, in the last about 5 years or so, plate racing's kind of changed. I think people have kind of noticed that, you know, there's not much of a real point in racing 100% through every single lap, and a lot of guys wait for it at the end. So this will be interesting. A bit of a sprint race here for these guys with only 60 laps on board. Pretty much expecting only one green flag pit stop. That is if we get a green flag pit stop, because with these guys, what we see in the heat races, a little bit sketchy out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to just the Daytona Fast Facts, you know, here at this, with the Field Racing League, they've never had more than 2 cautions in any Daytona race they've ever had. So that's pretty interesting. We literally might go green here and get some green flag pit stops.
Indeed, we'll see. As the pace cars are going to pull off, 40 cars racing with their engines roaring, and we're green here at Daytona for the fuel season opener.
Jeremy Miller, the 23, caught up just by himself out there right now. He's got to get somebody behind him.
Everyone's ditching towards the bottom lane as they're getting sorted out. Nick Johnson is going to be leading out at turn 2 with Hayden Pistorius in the 9 in behind. And a few guys you can see dropping down below the yellow line. They're dropping to the back to stay out of danger here. They're trying to play the long game.
Looks like some early strategy playing out.
Alright, the pack pretty spread out here. Come out at turn number 3 to complete lap number 1 of 60.
Looks like that bottom lane is preferred right now. If they could get enough cars in the outside lane, they can make it work.
You see Jeremy Miller working the outside lane now, trying to build up a run. I'm curious if he may work with Liam Sheen. He's also got John Welko there. You see in the 62 in behind. He's starting to build up a run.
Just might be those guys anxious to get up there. Jeremy Miller pushing behind the 9 car, looks like. He wants to get up front.
And already some pushing, shoving towards the front of the field there. And everyone's starting to get back, stacked up together. Again, the field kind of compressing as Jeremy Miller pushing Hayden Pistorius to the lead, and Pistorius will lead this line.
Aggressive pushing by Jeremy Miller. He really wants to be up there. That could be bad, man. Definitely don't want to be pushing so early on right now like that.
Look at the field as they come out of onto the back straightaway here, racing down.
People dropping out.
And you see a lot of people starting to play safe, and especially too surprising to see Liam Sheen in the 96 dropping all the way down. Don't normally expect him to drop to the back. Also see
He's probably changing the game plan here. Wants to survive to the end.
Yeah, John Poole in the 21. He was down on the apron here. He's going to drop way towards the back. And out of the 38 guys that took the green flag, he was on a loss of draft. Jared Dixie's all the way in the back straightaway. I think he missed the start of the race. He's got a long day ahead of him.
Yeah, you don't want to be too far back there. You definitely lose his pack. Be stuck. Could even potentially go a lap down. Yeah, Will Roberts in the 39 and Casey Licato's in the 50 working together way back there. 11 seconds back.
And field has kind of split up again. One Pelletier and Travis McFishing kind of sitting in around midfield along with Liam Sheen. I'm curious why the 96 has dropped so far back, though. He's just trying to keep him present that car to the end when he needs it the most.
Yeah, we got to remember here, Finian, we got over 35 cars on the track. Definitely want to be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you don't cause any mistakes.
And it's amazing, too, from Liam Sheen after starting in fourth within 4 laps, drop all the way back to 18 just to kind of ride this out for now and just kind of play it patiently, not going to make any too aggressive moves, just going to kind of keep where he is.
Definitely want to keep an eye on Liam Sheen, though. It might be something worth watching, going to the back and then potentially even working his way up to the front, getting himself out of trouble.
And you can see, too, with the extra 40 laps in comparison to the heats, a lot of these guys are giving each other significantly more room to work with because they know these conditions are treacherous, so they're trying to play nice with each other for now.
A lot of gaps everywhere, indeed. But with this many cars on the track, Finian, I'm pretty sure the draft is really helping them out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be helping them out quite a bit. The draft gives them a pretty good amount of a closing rate. It's nowhere near as it used to be with the older Cup package where you would just kind of fall in behind and immediately lose the draft. You can definitely have a little bit of play around with here, but definitely not as strong as the new Cup packages. Those things are amazing. The draft. Whoa, already a wreck in the front.
Man, in the front of the pack, a lot of cars going around.
Oh, Liam Sheen involved as well.
Liam Sheen, yes, I was just looking at him right now. Looked like he was going to make it through, but he just got a tap in there.
It looked like that started with Tyler Dulger in the 88. It was around kind of close to where this wreck started. Oh yeah, he's got into the 58 here. We're right on board to see if he got loose, but you can see a lot of the other drivers going around because of that. I think Mitchell Walker, he got a piece of that. Now on board with and so here's on board with Tyler Dulger in the 88. He got loose in the trial by himself. Yeah, if you're right on board, he just made just a little bit too sharp of an input, and that got the back end loose and around he went.
Keep note on as well as how loose it could get.
Yeah, and again, we were talking about it too just before that wreck happened. That these guys are giving each other a lot of room, and that definitely does help. The fact that the guys are not racing so close together to lessen the chance of a wreck like that happening. But still, when you're dealing with loose conditions like that, all it just takes is just a little bit too much wheel, and that's
a little too much. Yeah, but small mistake here can lead to so much mistake.
It looks like Riley Thompson, Gary Weaver, Tyler Dulger are going to call it a night here. Everyone else is still rolling, although I imagine guys got quite a bit of damage that they're trying to repair. Nick Johnson's going to lead the field down onto pit road.
A lot of these cars going down pit road right now, maybe to fix some damage.
And fix some damage, potentially get the car serviced just to make sure everything's a-okay.
Looking at Liam Sheen's car right now, he's only got left front damage. May not be that bad. Definitely rear.
I thought he ended up disconnected there, but he's still sitting.
That's what it looked like as well.
They try to sit down as well. Some other guys in the crews are going to get to work on some of these cars, but out in front, it looks like Zach Buchanan. He's staying out on the track. I don't see a piece of damage to that car, so I wouldn't be too hard to expect that he's just gonna take over the lead this race.
I mean, he started 39th, way in the back. It might have been benefited for him to be way back there, and look where he's at right now.
Yeah, indeed. Solid job for him, and like you said, he started 39th, almost as far back as you can get in this field. Actually, I think that was as far
I think
back.
that is the last,
Yeah,
yeah.
was pretty much dead last, and here he is now running up towards the front, only within 9 laps. So you know how the tables have turned for the 40. We'll see if he does come down into the pits, although you don't really need to. He might come down just for the sake of tires. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Or fuel.
Yeah, or fuel too. That's the old Nick Johnson took. He just got a splash and go and went back out, and it looks like 40 of Buchanan's going to stay out and lead this race.
Nice. I mean, we're talking small amount of laps here, just enough to get those tires really heated up.
Yeah, you know, we always talk too as we go 1 to green here. You know, when it comes to really a safe part of the field, it's not really necessarily a safe part, but there's safer parts to be. And a lot of guys try to lay out towards the back, and some people say in the front is also one of the safest places. You know, looking at the way these guys are driving, do you think that's going to be the case here?
You know, being in the pack can go two different ways. It's the same thing, pretty much being anywhere at Daytona. You can literally be way back there, kind of like where Casey was and Will Roberts, and still get involved in a wreck. But look where Will Roberts is at right now, starting up there in the second row on the outside. So it definitely prevailed for him.
Roberts too, I was just looking at him too. He started in around 20th place and has moved up to the front here. So he's also a big beneficiary of that caution coming out, and with a large majority of the field coming down onto pit road.
Yeah, I'm looking at Casey Licato's car now, and it's pretty clean. He must have went down pit road as well.
You know, take a look too before these guys roll back around, trying to see where some of these other guys that I know got involved. Mitchell Walker, I know he got a small piece of it. Looks like he's able to fix that car back up. Yeah, I think it's some slight nose damage, but other than that, the car is in pretty good shape. Even like the rest of the order, everyone got these cars pretty fixed up, and I think they're ready to go back racing.
Nice.
Pacecar's gonna pull back down onto pit road. We're gonna get ready to go back green yet again here at Daytona.
Big jump by the 40 and the 28 there. Could be a bad thing.
Could be a bad thing, but let's see how the rest of the field is going to be able to try to track them down and chase them back up. Meanwhile, in behind them, Will Roberts looks leading a small charge, and then outside he's got the 46 and Chad Simpson with them, and they're catching up fast on the 28.
Yeah, just as I expected, they were going to block. I was hoping that maybe he would go inside there. A lot of people like the inside lane here at Daytona. Look at Casey Licato's in the 50, going through the field there.
He's trying to work his way up, as our many are, as we come back around here. So ran out of turn 4 back across the start-finish line to complete another lap. It's going to be Abe Pistorius on the top lane. He's trying to now mount up a charge against the 20 and the 40. We seem to be taking a good liking to each other and trying to work together.
Still big gaps here, Finian.
Yeah, especially past around 10th or 15th place. There's some large gaps forming in the field amongst the guys who are willing to be nose to tail and aggressive up towards the front, while some guys are just kind of out in the back trying to ride around.
Not really seeing much bumper pushing right now, except for, ooh, the 23 wants to shove himself out to the outside. Trying to get that lead.
Jeremy Miller, where did he come from? I didn't even notice him up in this group. Here he is again trying to take the lead. He's been pretty aggressive, one of the more aggressive drivers in this race. He's going to try to take it away from Buchanan on the outside with Abe Pistorius behind him.
If they can get that outside line working. Definitely some good racing going on up here.
Yeah, definitely indeed, as he's got a good push from the 9, but it's not enough to beat the 40 Buchanan. He's going to be very comfortable in that 40 car on the inside lane. He's got the 28. Johnson pushing it pretty well. And here comes Norco in Tier 2 in the 5th place now. Joining up with these guys in front as well as Mitchell Walker.
About the 56 of Norm. Look at him get up there in the 33 car. Started 33rd, man.
You can see that big gap. It's become really big. It was kind of scattered at one point, but there's a second distinct pack that's formed up in behind the main group. Leading that pack is John Runkle. John Runkle's in around 17th place, so top 16 have kind of escaped the rest of the field here. We'll see if this comes into play later. And if these guys do not join back up, if we do green all the way.
Could be the damaged cars back there in that second pack as well. That's kind of keeping back there. Looks like Matt White and the 78 working together to get back up to the main pack.
Yeah, they've broken away immediately and made some progress. You can see they're off the back end of Dakota Ehrman. There you go. There's a shot off the back. You can see him kind of leaving that group, and then right up ahead of Matt White, they're starting to close back in on the leaders.
Getting that draft there. Don't really see anything aggressive going around up in the front pack.
Here's a view from the top of the grandstand to spectator cam. These grandstands are absolutely massive around Daytona. The new ones that they've put up as the field races on by.
Probably the higher the better, in my opinion, in a track like this.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, looking up from here, you can see these guys race around into the back straightaway. You can see the entire track, which is saying something.
But like, I'm not sure if you could even see much of down at the bottom.
Looks like Miller is just kind of riding up on that top lane, not necessarily trying to take the lead back away. Of note to the 42, Scott Taylor, he's up there sitting third in line. Started in 13th, is currently up in the 6th. Those are decent progress forward. One guy we haven't mentioned at all since the first few heats, Connor Horn at 67. He started in 7th. Yeah, I was thinking of one of the other drivers in the second heat, starting from the back. So Horn started in 7th, running in 15th. Been pretty quiet so far.
Being patient.
Yeah, patience honestly is the name of the game.
Yes, it is, especially just Daytona, man. If you're not patient, it can lead to that small mistake. It's very shocking to me, though, that Connor Horn is back there. Looks like he's trying to force it 3 wide.
Kind of mingling with Casey Electronics back there. Hasn't really done anything as well. We're going to kind of just take a little bit through the field. Here comes the 78 and the 29, Matt White. He pretty much caught the lead pack back up.
Working together really well.
Yeah, they started to separate a little bit, but they're pretty much close to, and actually chasing them back down is Tyler Hens and Casey Shue leading the second group. They've got organized and grouped together, and here they come, and also John Poole in the 21 on the outside. Correct number on the car this time.
Got to keep Matt White in that 78 car noted down for later in the race. If they're working together like that, pretty much tandem drafting, something that it could be dangerous for a lot of these guys. Something for them to worry about, especially running only 2 cars when you got a pack in front of them and they're catching them.
And they have to be careful too, because if they're not careful and they cause a lot of guys to start bobbing and weaving, you could see another wreck. And that's what we see. Most of the wrecks happen tonight have been from guys just getting a little bit loose and then kind of mayhem ensuing.
Yeah, a lot of cars getting loose by themselves.
Slaughtered in line there, just kind of looking at some of the other guys. Ooh, we might have. But for a second, we lost John Poole. He's having some internet issues. Speaking of the machine, now we're looking at outside of Casey's shoe. Doesn't look too much here. Also looking at really some of the guys we have in the back of this field. Christopher Matthews is currently the last car scored on the lead lap in 32nd, sitting 37 seconds behind the rest of the field, and actually can hear the rest of the pack coming off turn 2 in the middle of the back straightaway, and they're chasing him down.
Yeah, he's back there. Lots of damage on his car, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a good day, but he's just going to be kind of out here riding for points, and that's unfortunate, you know, to start the season off on such a sour note. You come into Daytona hoping for a chance to win. It's probably one of the best chances a good amount of these drivers have of getting a win at a plate track like this. And then kind of your race already put on the back foot. You're just kind of out here for points running around by yourself, which is probably one of the most boring things in the world.
Yeah, it definitely is boring, but you know what, though? So many things can go wrong in front of him, and it could benefit him. I mean, the 92 of Christopher Matthews way back there in 32nd. He could watch so many wrecks happen and definitely work his way up the field, even with a damaged race car.
20 and the 23 getting pretty close to each other. It looks like they're almost trying to side draft one another. As they work past the Latin car of Christopher Matthews, who stays out of the way.
Good for him. Definitely don't want to be involved in this fast pack coming by him.
Speaking of a pack, here comes the second pack as well, as looks like Hensley and Casey Shue, they've overtaken Matt White and Earman, who pursued their own charge back to the front, but more or less this kind of second pack has caught up. I think other than maybe a few stranglers here and there. It does look like Don Runkle, he's lost the lead pack, and I'm kind of amazed that he is, because that car doesn't look too terribly damaged. Maybe some slight nose damage, but nothing too major, but he's lost the draft as well as Brandon Keane, Jared Dixon, and John Wilco. They're all running in a 3-car pack, 27 seconds behind them.
Well, at least they got some drafting partners back there. I mean, if you were by yourself like Christopher Matthews, yeah, I would be worried as well. But like I said, a big wreck could happen, and you could move up so many spots.
Speaking of which, Zach Buchanan getting a little bit squirrely, a little bit sideways from the 23 of Jeremy Miller, and we're 3 wide here for the lead.
Oh, man, they're getting aggressive.
Oh boy, that got intense for a moment there. Almost saw a wreck that you were talking about there. Some commentators curse.
All right.
Saw a little bit of a wiggle out of the 40, but is able to recollect it and save it going into a turn, which is definitely hard to do.
Unfortunate for Jeremy Miller in the 23. Got shoved out on the outside there. 3 wide for a good period. Was able to get back down into the second lane.
Yeah, I almost want to go take a replay and see what happened to the 40, but I'm kind of too scared to pull away from this.
It's definitely getting dicey right now. Look at the 9. Getting really close to the 40.
Yeah, he's trying to get a run here. He's kind of just sitting in behind the 40, giving a little bit of a shove. 56 giving some distance though to the 28 as the 9 gives an aggressive shift to the 40. That almost put him in the wall.
That top lane though, they're definitely moving.
And so here's the small problem that I'm starting to see arise as these guys have been running for the longest run of the race so far. Zach Buchanan has the least amount of fuel compared to everyone else in this field. Almost every other car has been down on pit road.
That's what happens when you get stuck up there.
Yeah.
And when you stay out.
Yeah, so to give you the numbers here, Buchanan has been out since the start of the since the drop of the green flag. Same thing with Will Roberts. Everyone else has taken fuel about 9 laps later.
Could be his strategy though. It might be something that he's trying to play out.
It could be. He could hook up again with himself and Will Roberts on the same strategy. So those 2 guys can hook up and work together. They can make something happen. I think that's really the only way they can not lose the draft. You need at least someone to tandem with to not lose time.
Right, you definitely want to be with somebody at least. I mean, look at Matt White. He was tandem drafted pretty much with the 78 car, and look at them. They caught up to the pack. They're still kind of a little bit back, but they're there pretty much.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think really those 2 guys are just kind of maintaining their distance here a little right on board too with the 29 and Matt White. This is honestly what I like to do at these kind of tracks is just kind of lay in a decent amount from the leaders just in case a wreck happens. You have enough time to get the car woed down so you don't get yourself in it.
Right, that's probably exactly what they're doing. They're probably just laying back a little bit. Probably 75% throttle here and there. Holding themselves back. I mean, you gotta think about it. Matt White in the 29, he could definitely see everything what's in front of him right now.
Almost through wide for a second here. I think Will Roberts, he might be pulling off to the outside and dropping back. Oh, he's in the wall a little bit.
He's in the wall. Yep, there he is. Oh no.
Able to keep off of it. I'm just worried though if he has some damage to the right side of the car.
Might be trying to get down to the very bottom to go down pit road.
It could be. It's a little bit early for that, I would think. It could go a little bit longer. See here, he's going to drop and slide it behind the 25 of Brian Chantley's back in the position. Outside it actually started to die out a little bit, I think, from getting into the wall. It's now just the 9 of Hayden Pistorius, the 42 Scott Taylor, the 23 of Jeremy Miller, the 67 of Connor Horn, and the 2 of Calvin Filarski. Everyone else is kind of down on the bottom line, single file. You always kind of expect the race to get like this at some point, and everyone's just kind of in there for the ride.
Right. Where did Connor Horn come from, though? I mean, he was back there in 15th when we were talking about him a few laps ago, and here he is, 7th place.
Yeah, 7th place and starting to crawl up the order. Riding on board with him. Really, what I wanted to look forward to after watching the duels is see him versus the 23. Both these guys seem aggressive and definitely have the urge and the will to win this race. So I'm curious to see how creative in their blocks and attempts, how that's going to turn out by the end of this race.
They could work together. They used to be teammates in a different league, so it wouldn't surprise me. To this to the main pack and is currently riding around in 13th position, sitting in behind Chad Simpson up the road. He's just kind of waiting in line, and I'm wondering, what's going through his mind in this race. If he's going to try to move up forward now, or just kind of wait here a little bit longer. Yeah, if I was Liam Sheen, I would wait just a little bit longer. I mean, we're getting pretty close to pit stops. See how the pit stops play out, and then maybe work your way up front.
And we'll see too. The pit stops are an interesting thing at the Super Speedway area. So a lot can go wrong. When the group peels off to go down pit lane, you get loose. You can hit the brakes too hard. You can speed into pit road, and then also getting to your box too. We see time and time again guys overestimating the braking ability of the brakes on the Super Speedway package. There's next to none.
Right, so many
things slow down, yeah, and then they just miss their box and lose a lot of time. So you need to make sure you get a perfect pit stop sequence, especially when there's only one unified pit stop. It's going to be the money stop for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you want to talk about the drivers around you as well. What side you're going to be on when you go down pit road, left or the right side. Because if you go down the same left side, one could break more later than the other.
And as the field came across the line last time, we're halfway through this race with the sun setting off of turn 4. We might be able to see the lights go on this track before the night is over, but currently one guy trying to move to the front, Connor Horn in the 67. He's making some moves. Here he goes, looking to the outside of the 23 of Miller. He's not going to be able to take it for now, but he's been making some really good moves.
There they are, working together, like I said. That's definitely what you want to do at a track like this, is work with the fastest car. And that's exactly what Connor Horn's doing, working with the guy that he knows that can get up to the front. You're definitely being aggressive up there.
Actually, I see a lot of drivers are starting now to pull off to inside the lane. I think we could see pit stops here in a few laps' time. And there we go. 40 Zach Buchanan's going to bring a few guys on down. He's going to be deep and hard onto the brakes. Fantastic job for him. Team, he's the first pit stall on pit road. Going to just slide into his box. And so this
might have been. Sorry, there. Go ahead, Fanny.
No, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. I thought, he was going to end up by himself coming down into pit road, but it looks like he's got a few people to work with, which is definitely going to help him out. He rolls out. Nick Johnson had to go all the way to the end of pit road to service his machine, and he's off and away.
Yeah, there was a car there, number 5, Colin Furbo. Looks like when he entered pit road, I thought maybe he was going to get a penalty there. He was sliding a little bit there.
Is there any more tickets this time around? No, it looks like no tickets down to pit road at least this time around.
Yes, yeah, this is probably the group that definitely stayed out. Or, sorry, I apologize about that, but definitely went down pit road and got gas and all that.
And these guys are just can go a little bit further on fuel, but not a whole lot longer. I imagine they got to come in within around the next 5 laps or so.
It still looks like there's going to be some cars that are going to come down.
So waiting, I think, around most of the top 20 to come down and service their cars.
Takers.
Still
nobody. Wow.
The outside, Kings Okada's trying to take the lead in this race away from Scott Taylor. The lead he got at the line that turn by. He
did, yeah.
Oh, they're wrecking up in the front. Case Okada's around. It's a big one out of turn 1.
Oh, Jeremy Miller taken out of that.
And a caution out again at Daytona at lap 35. That took out a lot of big names in that wreck. Take a look at what happened. Oh, just got loose. Again, same story we've seen all night long. 23 just kind of got loose in by himself along with the 50. And around a lot of him and a few other drivers won. The machine also involved with some heavy damage. On board with Sherman. He's going off into turn 1 in behind the 50. The back end starts to just rotate a little bit more, clip the 42. It took out about a good 7 to 10 cars there. He got loose himself by doing that, so I don't know.
He did get loose by himself, but
yeah, I'm curious if the push maybe that upset the car.
Maybe, yeah, it might have upset the car.
Because we have seen time and time again these cars are on a knife's edge. And so with that caution coming out of the middle of a pit sequence, it's kind of thrown the... Oh, Connor Horn.
Yeah, Connor Horn did get some damage as well.
His car is also torn up. We kind of missed the end of that.
A lot of good cars, got a lot of damage.
Yeah, so with that caution coming out in the middle of a pit sequence, it's thrown the whole order of this race kind of out of whack. It looks like almost everyone's going to come down a pit road. Oh wow, Casey Licata's car is completely
Yeah, he was pretty much drifting on the straight there.
And actually, from the looks of it, it looks like the guys that came down under green, they're all going to stay out. It's not too surprising that the decision, that's exactly what I would do.
Right, I would do the same thing as well. Good, clean race cars.
And down on pit road, though, a lot of guys now starting to come out of pits. Looks like John Pool's going to be the first of them. 8th. Travis McQuistion, Brian Chambliss, Noel Pelletier.
How about Brian Chambliss? Somebody we haven't talked about yet.
He's been really quiet in this race. I haven't heard a whole lot out of his machine.
Started 37th.
That's a really solid climb forward for the 25.
He does have a clean race car as well. He could get up there, make something happen.
I mean, now is a better time than any. We're going to get the restart here with just about 20 laps to go. So, race is really going to start to come down to it. Oh, apparently NASCAR, the official NASCAR channel, is watching the stream.
Nice.
They just pinged us in chat. I haven't been watching chat because I haven't been able to really get it up on my monitor, but that's cool
I
to
haven't
see.
either. That is really cool to see. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting race so far. And we actually, I was expecting this to be a little bit more caution heavy. If I'm not mistaken, we've only had 2 cautions. Only 2 cautions for 5 laps so far in this race.
Could we break a record?
As far as few cautions?
Well, it says no Daytona race has ever had more than 2 cautions, so
We could.
we could go green all the way.
Although I will say, I feel like a large amount of that has been due to the guys giving each other quite a bit of room. Due to how squirrely these cars have been on the track. However, I do feel that can change in an instant here, especially coming to 20 laps to go. I think it's about to get a lot more racy.
Oh yeah, it's getting close to the time of being aggressive for sure. I'm banking on another caution.
Really? Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
I think we're gonna get another one.
We'll see here. So looking out of the remaining order, and especially considering how messed up really the order is, everyone's thrown out of whack. And I know one of your favorite drivers in the field, the 23, is pretty much taken out of this race. Who are you now looking at of potentially winning this?
Oh man, I would definitely have to say 29 of Matt White.
Really?
Somebody else to also look forward to as well, Brian Chambers, man. We haven't talked about him, but look where he's at right now. Top 10. Good, clean race car.
Yeah, we're talking about him moving up from 37th all the way inside the top 10. We'll see if he's going to be able to, make anything out of that track position. And that's really, especially at these plate races towards the end of the race, you really got to use what you've been given as far as track position and make the most out of it. I think we're going to get the one to green this time by. Guys, double file back one.
.28 of Nick Johnson up there, though.
He's been a pretty dominant force, and the funny thing is, too, especially with this series, in this series, too, they mandate, if it's your first time here, you have to have rookie stripes on the car, which is kind of funny, because Nick Johnson's definitely shown his stripes in the IndyCar series. Has been a pretty dominant force there. So, and clearly tonight he's showing his prowess in the stock cars, at least at the super speedways. He's been up here in the front. I would say probably one of the better cars on the field. I can see where he started from. He started in front.
On the pole.
Yeah, started on pole, right. After winning Heat 1.
Still running up the first heat. He's been up there pretty much almost the whole race.
Yeah, and really looking at it, this is kind of inaccurate. I have the graphic up for highest and lowest. Obviously, highest to first. Lowest to 22nd, but I think the only reason he's back in 22nd was because of the pit stop. Other than that, yeah, I definitely agree. He's pretty much been inside the top 5, top 10 all day long. See if he's going to be able to continue to do that. And what actually, now that I'm looking at the field coming out of turn 4 here, one pair that's kind of getting interested is the 76 and the 40. Those guys, the Project 2 cars, teammates, and they've worked well together in the past. I think they're going to work well together now. Pace car is going to pull off here. We're getting ready to go back green. Just over 20 laps to go.
Pretty much another duel.
Yep, pretty much exactly that. Green flag back in the air.
Nobody being too aggressive here.
Everyone's taking their time here. Will Roberts lining up in behind the 28 of Nick Johnson. Zach Buchanan lining up in behind the 76 here, as well as Matt White. You were saying that was one of your guys you were looking at potentially winning this race. He's already third on the outside line.
And second lane's got enough cars to make it happen.
All they need is really to just kind of build up a run. They also do have to be aggressive trying to make up the time there.
Right, because that bottom line is pretty much, I mean, those two cars up there, the 28 and the 39 got a big gap. I'm surprised they're able to keep that gap like that.
Yeah, but here comes the 76 and the 40. They're starting to gain momentum, as well as the 29 and the 93. Travis McQuistion, he's also up there. Haven't seen a whole lot out of his car. And even John Poole, the 21, he's appeared up here in the late running of this race.
Got some cars in the back falling there.
Some guys trying to move themselves to the back, just kind of wait this out. You know, we say it's kind of a sprint, but there's still a little bit of time left as far as 20 laps to go. I think really when it's 10 laps to go, then you have to pretty much push all the way to the end of this race.
Right, that's the time to shine right there. 10 laps to go.
Kind of just looking on further back too. There's I see the 86 Eric Mickey. Haven't seen a whole lot of him. Started towards the front in his heat race, and then kind of fell back after not finishing too terribly well in his heat race. Started 24th. He's currently running 17.3 wide. A few other cars.
Could be in a pretty good spot though if these guys definitely get aggressive up front, cause a big wreck again.
You never know when it's going to happen. We see these wrecks pretty much occur at the randomest of times. There's been no rhyme or reason for it. Guys getting loose when they are.
That's pretty much what we've seen all night. Just cars getting loose on their own. Nobody being really aggressive with the bumper. So exactly what you said. You never know what's going to happen.
So far, I think really right now what we're looking at is the calm before the storm. Everyone pretty much lined up in nice, even rows of two. Will Roberts up in behind the 29. 28? Sorry. Do you think he's got anything? The 39?
Oh, definitely. He's in a really good position right now. It's definitely where you want to be, right behind the leader. Especially since if you can get right behind the bumper of the 28, get hooked up, get a nice, good lead, you can shake yourself up to the outside and go for the pass.
Just really, again, it all comes down to timing. When are you going to make your move?
In my opinion, the best time to make the move on the final lap. A lot of these guys like to make it earlier than that, though.
Problem though is that some of these guys might end up waiting too long, but yeah, it really is an art as far as timing your move when you have to do it. You have to notice the flow in the lines and, you know, kind of balance out how the lane momentum is going up and down and plan your strategy around that, especially too if you're kind of one of these guys back in the middle of it, especially Thomas Bressy's stuck 10th, 5th car on the outside line. He's kind of in the middle of this. Do you think we're going to see a third lane for it anytime soon?
Not right now, but come to the closing laps of the race, it wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be a third lane. Still a little too soon to go all the way out there. It does look like, though, some cars are trying to go out there, but nobody's going with them.
Yeah, I think that is 43. It could be decent. He was looking up a little bit high, but he's kind of hanging out around midfield, currently running in 18th position. But so far up front, just kind of running the laps down. You have 15 laps to go.
Really surprised with the 39 Will Roberts and the 20 of Nick Johnson, how they're able to keep a gap unless the 5 car is just holding back.
Yeah.
You don't want to give too much room because then you allow those cars up there to get down into the inside line.
Will Roberts drafting up to the 28. He hasn't really been giving bumps. If anything, it has been on the straightaways. And then the 5 of Fambro leaving a pretty big gap down to Roberts, like you were saying.
Yeah, enough to have a car go down there, but looks like the 76 wants to stay out there.
Yep, well, the teammates are going to stick together, and that's why I was so intrigued by them both being in the outside lane. You know, obviously it helps to have a person to talk with, communicate with, and plan these runs. I'm sure both of them are going to work together, at least get one of their cars in victory lane, and they're so close to doing it.
I do like what that 40 car is right now. If you can get a good draft, you can get below your teammate, the 76. Force it 3 wide and just shoot yourself up to the front.
I'm surprised you haven't seen a whole lot more jockeying around, especially towards the back. Everyone's kind of evenly playing nice with each other, expecting guys in the back to get a little bit more aggressive, moving their way up to the front. Actually, as I say that, I just see Jared Dixon. He was looking up the middle 3 wide.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as well.
He was eyeing a move here.
That beautiful 16 car there. Love that paint scheme.
We saw Dixon being aggressive in his heat race, making moves up the middle 3 wide. So he has some practice doing it. I think he's going to definitely need to do something here. So being stuck back at 50 to make something happen. We see a 95 next to him on Brandon Keating. He's starting to also look aggressive.
They are leaving the middle open. Wouldn't shock me if somebody would go right through the middle of these cars, force it 3 wide. You can get a pretty good draft from that.
Yeah, really, it's going to be a matter of who's going to be the first to strike Woo. I saw a move from Thomas Bresci up the road. Not sure that was intentional or not.
Yeah. See if he could make something happen, though.
Starting to wind down. Intensity, I feel like, is starting to pick up slowly but surely.
It's coming. That 44 car back there is definitely antsy.
Tyler Hensley, the 44, last season was definitely nothing to write home about. He's struggled quite a bit at some places, and even tonight he's had some damage to the nose of that car. Started back in 29th, up into 16th, so not terrible, but I'm curious if he'll try to move up a little bit more, join his teammate in the 24.
That's probably what he's looking for his teammate.
Yeah, Reggie, how willing are you to work with your teammates on the final lap? Obviously, everyone wants to get the win. Are you more of a team player or every man for himself?
I'm more of a team player. I'll do anything I can to help my teammate, especially to get up to the front. And once you're up there, just race it out to the finish. Go 1-3 wide. Look at that 44 car, just like I was saying. Gained some spots. Now he's behind the 24.
Actually, we took a look back at that. This is on the back straightaway a few moments ago. Use the draft to his advantage. Went around 1-2 cars on that outside lane. Fantastic move.
Outside there.
Like I said, I was curious how is he going to get to his teammate in the 24. It's exactly how he did it.
Yeah, definitely want to work with your teammates.
Oh,
there they go.
That's exactly, I was just about to say, I'm curious when were they going to make this 3 wide? There they go, teammates to the outside now, trying to join the guys up in front. Look at the run Bresci has on that outside lane.
Wow,
side by side with Welker. Fantastic.
He needs the 44 car to get to his bumper.
Yeah, they're starting to lose some steam here. That inside lane winning out. The race is on here with 10 laps to go, coming to 9.
3 wide, 2 rows right there.
It looks like they're starting to lose a little bit of steam, and actually it looks like Hensley's kind of backing out. Oh no, the 44 gets turned! And a big crash midfield, caution out.
There's that caution.
Yeah, you said we were going to get another yellow. There it was.
It's just those guys being impatient. 44.
Take a look at what happened here, too. It's going down into 1. Yeah, the 93 was getting a draft off of him, and it looked like the 44 was trying to defend. Ryan on board with the news. From Travis McQuistion here through the trial, there you see the 44 car out to the right. Made a move, and I think the 44 is just coming down to kind of defend and dissuade him from moving up more, but unfortunately they got together and it caused a massive wrecking ball. Unless we have the right. Yeah, he might have been, and I'm kind of curious, you know, how effective is the side draft? You know, we've seen it be very effective in the Cup cars. How much is it in the Xfinity cars, though? Because these guys have a completely different aero package.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty effective. Man, if he would have actually got that to be able to work, he would have had a huge shot.
Yeah, and I was amazed too that, you know, the 44 and the 24 were working phenomenally. That charge they had up to the front was something we really hadn't seen this entire race. They had a fantastic run on that outside lane and were almost able to take away the lead. But I think again we were talking about it. We talked about it in the heat too. We saw two cars work up earlier, but they just lost some momentum. And I really think for that outside lane to work, you really need probably at least 3 or 4 cars. And unfortunately, the two of them just kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah, if that 44 car was behind him, if pretty much locked bumpers, oh yeah, that outside lane would have worked really well. And just like kind of like what you were wondering about the side draft, that's exactly what helped out the 24 car get so fast through the field right there. He was side drafting. It helped him out just for a little bit, but the 44 car wasn't there.
And coming down with these guys pacing here, I imagine no one's really going to come down on pit road. They should have more than enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. And with the laps winding down, I'm going to ask you again. You originally, earlier, was saying you were liking the 29 of Matt White and also Brian Chambliss. He might have been involved. Yeah, the 25 Chambliss was involved in that wreck. He's out.
Was.
Yeah, so
That's very fortunate for him.
Yeah,
but Matt White, though, he's still out there.
Yeah, are you still liking him and liking his shot to winning this race?
I'm still, yep, definitely. I mean, he's starting 7th. It's going to be, what, 3 rows back? Oh, yeah. I believe he definitely has a shot at winning this race.
Third caution of the night. Slow the pace down again. It hasn't been, again, as bad as they thought. I was a little bit concerned earlier when the drivers are telling me about, you know, the conditions being slippery as it was. You know, typically when you hear stuff like that, it usually ends up leading to chaos. But all things considered, these guys have done a great job trying to mitigate that.
Something scary to think about if the car, you know, getting that much shaky, especially on a straightaway, racing a track like this where you really have no room to, you know, fix your mistake. Oh yeah, it's definitely something to definitely worry about.
But everyone's kept it pretty clean and green so far. We have quite a few cars left in this race, although quite a few notable cars out of it as well. Names like, you know, Riley Thompson's out of this race, Robert Hull too, Jeremy Miller, big one. Hensley also in that last one as well as Connor Morton. He's actually down in there as well. We didn't really catch a whole lot of his involvement in it. He was kind of riding around with a damaged car. I think it got to a point where he's going to call it a night back in 25th.
Right. One driver very unfortunate is the 78 Dakota Herman. He was fast up there.
Yeah, and he was also working up with, we were seeing him, he was working with 29 Matt White. There was a little bit of separation between the packs, but White is still continuing on.
They did get themselves up there, but it wasn't. It looks like it didn't work out for him.
Round for round should be the one to go here. If that is one to go, that means we're gonna start this race again with only 4 laps to go.
Oh man, this is what during this time is what I like to call bumper time, Finian.
Yeah,
This,
that's what kind of concerns me though, because I don't really feel like these cars have been stable enough to really do bumper time as much as I think they would like to.
it almost looks like these guys really don't want to be pushing, but coming to the closing laps of the race here,
They're gonna almost have to, yeah.
yeah, they're gonna have to push.
Not gonna be much left of a choice, but yeah, just kind of looking up, setting up your order for well, what could potentially be the last restart of this race is gonna be Nick Johnson lining up in the lead in the 28 car. And two, I also want to bring up quickly before we go, anyone else, he's led 24 laps today. Almost half of this race has been the 28 car up in front. That's Mitch Welker going to be lining up in the second place spot behind these guys. In third, it's Will Roberts. In fourth, Zach Buchanan, teammate to Mitch Welker. Those guys have been doing a phenomenal job on that outside. Then we got Thomas Brassey lining up in fifth, Colin Fambro in sixth, Matt White seventh, John Poole eighth, McQuistion in ninth, and John Wilco rounding out your top 10. Also looks to the lights have come on.
Yeah, they just barely came on.
Lights have come
Here
on.
we are under the lights.
Yeah, nighttime's the right time. Although it's more late, really late afternoon, but close enough.
Right. Might help out these guys, especially with that really loose setup.
It will. Well, here we go. Right now is going to be crunch time for these guys. Pace car is going to pull off. 4 laps to go. It's going to be Nick Johnson leading them back down. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona.
The jump the 28 car got there. If the 39 can get to his bumper, they can make something happen.
24 being aggressive to the back of the 39. Will Roberts trying to get him to move to the front. The 40 and the 78 starting to build up steam on the outside.
A lot of cars trying to use the bumper. They're definitely a lot closer than they have been. Gaps have definitely gotten smaller.
Gaps have gotten smaller indeed. No one's going to be leaving any more space here as these guys are still building up momentum and building up speed.
Looks like the 39 can't get to the 28.
Yeah.
Needs a push from the 24.
Yeah, he's been... Oh, wreck in the background. It's the 66 that's turned sideways. Wreck, massive wreck in the tri-oval.
Got a car in the air there.
There's a 56, sorry, of Norm Pelletier. I think he was the one that got airborne. And the caution is out yet again. Oh boy. Let's see what happened here. So the 56 of Pelletier, oh, he's got hooked from Don Runkle Jr. And yep, Storis is the one that went flying in the air through the tri-oval. Wow, he went for a wild ride. We're going to have to take an onboard with him. He's going off at turn 4 to the wall, man. Ryan also on board with Don Runkle Jr. Oh, and I think it's the reason why Pelletier got so loose off of Don Runkle. Yeah, or lack thereof. And this ended up clipping him. Even Runkle went for a little bit of a spin. He was able to save it though. So coming back to the line here.
Green, white, checker finish is what we're going to have.
Yeah, so.
They are on.
Indeed they are. This will be green, white, checker to attempt number 1. about to go into overtime here. And this race is definitely going to be far from over. Kind of looking at what we got here, most of the front runners that we're looking at and the guys that we're thinking could win this race, not a lot of them taken out. They're all in the front, out of the range of that incident.
Yeah, pretty much the red cap into the back there.
And
still a lot of good cars up front.
Yeah, indeed. And I've really been surprised the way these cautions have been falling out. That Welker and Buchanan have still been lining up next to each other, or right behind one another on that outside lane. They have not been separated, which I think has definitely been a help. Although they're really going to have to do something to pry away the lead from Johnson. He's been keeping command of it. We did notice too that the 39 was being a little bit kind of shy on the bumper to the 28.
Yeah, he wasn't really there. If he was, though, they could have shot up and got a little bit further. That 40 car, though, needs to get up to the 76 of Mitch Wilker. Make something happen. That's the only thing that I could think that could work for those guys.
And you can see there on the top two, 12 lead changes this race, at least scored at the line.
Yeah, Nick Johnson's pretty much sitting in a comfortable spot. He's been up there this whole time. Pretty sure he's got nothing to worry about right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just kind of, hoping that the outside lane of the 76 and the 40 of Buchanan, they can't mount up anything of a charge. They've been close a few times, but not quite enough. And I'm just really, what I am also curious is how willing is the 28 of Johnson going to be to block? We've seen it's going to be hard to block without wrecking yourself. You have to definitely have some control over your car while you're moving across the track. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the fence.
Yeah, or somebody working with him behind him. Will Roberts definitely is going to have to get to his bumper. That's the only way that the 28 is going to be able to stay up front.
Actually, as the pace car is going to come across the line this time, this will actually complete our scheduled distance. I believe we should be getting one to go next time by. If I were to ask you, if I were to offer you $1,000 between the 28 and the 76, who do you think is going to take this race away?
At this point right now, I mean, it looks like the 28.
Yeah, honestly, I think I would go with that too. It just seems like no one's really going to be able to pry this away from him. I think if anything, it would be lack of aggressiveness from the 39 of Will Roberts.
Well, we did see that this, before the caution came out, wasn't really up to his bumper, kept it up front, man. So he's definitely doing something good up there.
But we wonder too if Will Roberts, if he might be hiding something or hiding a move up his sleeve. He can potentially win this race.
Might be waiting for that right time.
Yeah, and again, we were talking about it too earlier in the race. When do you make that move to try to win the race? You were saying on the last lap, and I mean, pretty much it's going to come down to it. We're going to come down to 2 laps to go. Really, all you can do.
Yeah, that last lap is definitely the time to make the pass. It could be anywhere. You could be coming out of turn 2, get that long slingshot. Or it could be just right out of turn 4. Make it for that, that side-by-side finish.
As we go on the back straightaway, we'll set the field yet again. It's going to be Nick Johnson leading the field after pretty much dominating most of this race at this point. Mitchell Welker in second, Will Roberts in third, Zach Buchanan in fourth, Bressing in fifth, Colin Fambro in sixth, John Poole in seventh, Matt White in eighth, Trent McCushion in ninth, and Wilco in 10th. So pretty much more or less the same drivers we've seen up here towards the front. And who knows, we could see a completely different guy end up winning this race if it all goes down on the white flag lap, which a lot of times it does, because we got to race it back to the checkers no matter what happens once we get the white flag.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. The 39 could be pushing the 28. Pretty aggressive. Send those guys into a wreck. Allow the 24 and the 5 possibly even get around those guys.
There we go. Pacecar's going to pull off, and this will be our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Nick Johnson leading them back down, and we're green 2 laps to go.
No gaps here.
And everyone nose to tail, not lifting, not giving an inch. That inside lane's starting to get really cooped up together, and they're starting to move to the front.
The 39 car needs to get to the 28. If they could get locked up, they could get a huge gap.
Yeah, indeed. Waiting to see who's going to make a move. We've seen these guys pretty much stay in their lines for now. I think I see Matt White peeking in the 29, but he's got no one to work with him. And look at the lead. The 28 is starting to build up. Out of turn 4. Can they make it back to the line? Will Roberts a little bit loose.
Oh, the
3
24!
wide.
Forcing it 3 wide.
Oh, they're going
no.
Sideways at the line. Do they make it
They
back?
wreck.
We're finishing this out. We're going white flags in the air. It's a drag race between the 76 and the 28.
Just exactly what it's been this pretty much the whole closing laps of this race. Look at the 21 car though.
Yeah,
he's going to get huge momentum.
He's sitting to get a huge run. There he goes. He's going to make a move up the inside of Welker. It's a 3-horse race at the front at Daytona.
This could help him out.
This
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yep, he's sitting in behind the 28. Johnson pretty much defenseless. And here they come out of turn 4. Welker trying to build up a run as well. There goes John Bull. He goes to the outside. Johnson, they're going to make contact. They're in the wall. They're wrecking down into the triangle, and it's going to be Welker through the grass. I think that will win at Daytona. Wow.
We should have put our money on the 76. It's the guy who took it.
Oh, man.
What a finish.
I don't think there's been a finish at Daytona in the grass since I think, what, 76 with Pearson?
Right. Pearson and Richard Petty. Through the grass. Look at that. He was pretty much backwards.
Have you ever?
No, I've never. Oh my goodness.
That's
Look
the
at
first
that.
time I've seen that. Guys coming spinning in the grass across the line. Alright, I guess we'll go on this camera angle. This will actually be probably the best view we can get of the whole scale of the incident. There's the leaders coming through the tri-oval there. And you can see Welker and Poole and everyone spinning across the line. See also the blimp. Oh, the blimp actually would be a little bit better as well. Here's from the top on the blimp. 28 getting into the wall. The 21 of Poole spinning. And everyone doing donuts across the line.
Pretty much in the best seat right there. Watching the
21 and the 28 bump each other door to door into the wall.
Yeah, what a fantastic job he's done to get to the end of the race. It's going to be Mitchell Welker that'll be trying to burn it down on the grass, it seems. He's going to line up with the 28. They're going to do...
Might as well. I mean, he won it in the grass. Awesome burnout here. With the teammate I can sue.
Yep. Go around backwards here and we'll bring up your finishing results. After a wild finish at Daytona. Oh man. Alright, that's actually on the second page.
Great finish.
Yeah, just looking at everyone else, Zach Buchanan going to be finishing in 11th, Dixon in 12th. I'll let that page over back to the front so you can see how it all went down, especially the gaps too coming across the line. I thought we were honestly going to get the caution there, but this is, and we've seen in the past where there's a caution that comes out.
Pretty late, right?
Yeah, and they'll usually call it, but that happened so late coming to the line. Ended
Yeah,
up getting the
they
white.
were across the line with a pretty good distance there. I was surprised they didn't get the caution as well.
Yeah, and there you see the gaps between the top three, Welker, Johnson, and McQuistion. McQuistion, too, came flying across on the oval by himself. He was almost able to take it away, but was a little bit short of doing so. So with that, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here with John Poole after an interesting finish at Daytona, to say the least. John, we saw after the wreck that happened at the line to the white flag lap, you were able to eke away with Welker and Johnson. And we'll just kind of at that point, what was your strategy to try to win this?
So strategy at that point was I wasn't even sure if I could get the W at that point. So I had to choose between Mitch and Nick. So I decided I chose Nick because bottom line, even though it's slower, you could get the run there. So kind of laid off of him in 3, and then surprisingly the car sucked up like I'd never experienced before during practice and all that, and got the run off of 4. And unfortunately, I was walled coming to the checkered flag, and that created some chaos and controversy. But Mitch got the W in the end, which I'm happy for Mitch that he got the W. But it sucks. Finishing fourth sucks.
Yeah, it really does. And I just wanted to ask you quickly before I go into my next question: are you going to be racing full season?
So tentatively it's part time, but it could be full time. I'm just not sure. It's just going to depend on availability and whether or not I want to run or not.
I see. Well, John, I hope we do see you back around. If you do come back, what tracks are you kind of eyeing at participating?
Just tracks that, not necessarily a track per se that's on my radar, just ones that are fun to drive and a little bit of a challenge. I'm not usually on the stock car side of things, so I really need to get a little bit better with the stock cars, and this league is a way for me to get better at these B cars and such like that. So I don't know yet. It's just going to depend.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely hope to see you back, John, after finishing what should be in fourth. I believe the admins will probably fix that for you because iRacing scored you in 22nd after spinning onto pit road. So yeah, hopefully that does get fixed and you get your proper finishing position. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, thank you, Finian.
Alright, moving on to our next driver. Travis, the question.
There we go.
Hey Travis, you got a copy?
I do.
Well, we saw that you're kind of not in necessarily in that last fight for third. Actually, I'm kind of just curious, how did you manage to make it through that pileup coming to the white flag?
Luck. I took a hard left into the grass and it went sideways, and I barely missed everyone. But I stayed in the gas as much as I could because the yellow didn't come out. But I was hoping to get a little bit of draft off those guys, but I lost so much momentum going through the grass. But it was interesting.
Yeah, it definitely was interesting. Did you feel any sort of hope as you saw them kind of door bang each other off of four?
I honestly thought when they went into the grass that I have this thing won. They're all spitting out and doing things and across the line. It took a while to register how far behind I was, and I'm like, oh man, this could be it. And then it came up third, but I'll take it. Really, we couldn't get past ninth place the whole night. I was just kind of bottled up there, and I'll take a podium finish.
Yeah, I'm glad that you definitely will. I believe you are going to be competing full-time this season, yes?
Yes, that is correct. I'm looking forward to trying to see what we could do. I was in the chase, 2 seasons ago, and last season just wasn't able to make it to all the races. But hopefully we can make it to everything and give it another go at the playoffs.
All right, well, we'll hope to see you at the end of the playoffs by the end of the regular season.
All right, thank you.
Next, we're going to be talking to Nick Johnson. And Nick, man, you did a phenomenal job throughout the entire day. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you led the most laps by a considerable margin. You led, I think, almost the entire last half of the race until the end there. So kind of just walk us through what happened on the last lap.
Yeah, well, first off, the Razor Toyota Camry Project 2 car was excellent tonight. We all had a strategy Zach piped up there when we were running green, and we all thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and get our pit stop out of the way and just get in line and hopefully undercut everyone else when they came down to pit. And we ended up actually getting the luckiest caution we could possibly have just 2 or 3 laps after exiting. So basically the entire Project 2 team worked together. We held the top 6 spots for the majority of that second half of the race. So that's why I was able to lead so much, because we could control both lanes at that point. And we were just able to stay where we were, and we all had a deal like, all right, when it gets down to 2 to go, gloves are off, here we go. And a couple cautions, green and white checkers in there kind of made it a little bit more difficult. For the last lap, that wreck happened behind us, and I guess before it registered that there should be a caution, we crossed the line, so that was it. We were going to race to the line. It was the 3 of us. I believe it was John, Mitch, and myself, and I thought Mitch was going to have enough of a run to get by me, so I went to get in front of him, and I saw John coming on the bottom, so I blocked him, and then for some reason Mitch dropped back more, and I was a sitting duck. So when John came off turn 4 with a run, I had to I wasn't going to try to protect and block him because I knew I was going to get wrecked, so I was just going to try to pinch him up by the wall and maybe side draft him a little bit and then turn down the end. But we end up coming together, coming to the line there. And at that point, we were all just spinning across the line, seeing who was going to cross it first. But I'm really happy for Mitch, really happy for all our Project 2 guys. We worked really great together tonight. And hopefully that continues on through the season. I hate that Zach and a lot of the other guys ended up, Will and Dakota, with their troubles tonight. Really, the entire team deserved to lock out at least the top 5 or 6 there. I mean, we really worked great together, but we'll go on to the next one. I believe it's in Vegas, and we'll see how we do.
Yep, and I mean, with your guys' teamwork that you had, I can't wait to see you guys at the next play track. Well, Nick, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys. Have a good night.
And last but certainly not least, and probably one of the craziest finishes I've seen at a plate track, Mitchell Welker wins at Daytona. Mitch, how would you pull that off?
I don't know, dude. I was just driving, man. I was up next to Nick, obviously, and then the crash happened, and I thought it was just gonna be like a Talladega Nights drag between me and him to the finish, and we got John Poole coming up there. He comes up behind him and shoves him, and then I thought I was just gonna finish third, and I would be okay with that, but then they get tangled into the wall, and I go low, and I get hit, and I just kept the foot in, trying to gather as much momentum as I could through the grass, and I did it. I won a Zup race.
Yeah, I definitely will say, I feel like in the few times I have seen you, on these plate tracks, you just kind of had some unfortunate luck here and there, but how does it feel to finally win at one of these types of races?
You have no idea how loud I screamed when I saw the relative and I was number one. You have no idea. I've never made a noise louder in my life, I don't think. This is freaking incredible. I can't believe it. I mean, I was hoping to win his up race this year. I was like, yeah, all right. I'll set the goal, maybe just win one on like a road course or something, like the Indy road course or some road course. I don't know, but to win it here, the first race is ridiculous. I can't believe it.
Well, we're definitely happy for you in the booth, man. That was a heck of a win.
Yeah.
Went out.
Heck of a win there.
Yeah, won that in style. So, Mitch, we'll let you go, let you enjoy your victory, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much. See you then.
All right, and with that, let's go through your final lineup. Let up on screen here. But, Reggie, what a race, man.
What a race, Finian. I mean, Mitch won that race going backwards. He couldn't even see the start-finish line. Then gotta suck, for Nick Johnson in the 28 car to lead so many laps and then, get wrecked out right there at the very end. But I mean, it wasn't really too bad for him, especially for him finishing in second place.
Yeah, and Bressy in fourth, just to name a few of the other drivers. Ronkel got a fantastic job done. He finished in sixth this race, kind of coming out of nowhere. Actually, I think that finish deserves just one last replay before we go. Gonna see if I can pull it up here real quick. Play this in slow-mo, too, so you can really embrace the craziness that was this finish.
Definitely a crazy finish.
Yeah.
I haven't seen like that in
Yeah.
a very long time.
Yeah, and there's the 28 and Poole getting together into the wall. Welker tries to pull on down, and he makes contact with the 21, and both of them go sliding through the infield. And I imagine at this point the 76 is just going full throttle and full beans as he comes across the stripe in the grass and narrowly ikes out ahead of the 28 of Nick Johnson. But I think with that, after a pretty long broadcast, we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We'll call it a night with a fantastic finish, and we'll see you next time on SYM TV. Good night.